Okay, so my topic for tonight is Insignia of the Boy Scouts, recognizing top quality scouting programs, 1973 to the present. So we're going to cover almost 50 years here. I'm not going to cover anything that went before 1973. There were programs out there, but they really weren't programs of the type of thing that we're talking about now. You'll see honor unit banners and so forth and 100% boys' life things, but not the sort of thing that we're going to talk about tonight. So a little bit about me. I haven't done this when I've done presentations in the past, but I've been around a long time, not as long as some of the people that are on this call, but I've been around a long time, been a scouter for almost 60 years. You know, the usual things like Eagle and Vigil and Wood Badge and District Award of Merit, Silver Beaver, NISA, Eagle Scout, so forth. I've held unit positions, Cubs, Boy Scouts at the unit, district, and council level. Been to a bunch of jamborees, really enjoyed it on staff or as a participant in 1969. Philmont 2007, which is another mountaintop experience, and I mean that both literally and figuratively. Started collecting patches like Johnny at the 1969 National Jamboree. So that was the beginning of the end. And been collecting all different things over the years. My focus is in New England, the 6 states of New England. I collect camp patches, CSPs, Jamboree contingent memorabilia through 2010, trail medals and patches. That's probably my biggest focus. I collect Region 1 and Northeast Region memorabilia of all types. I collect the Mohawk Indian Village, which I've done a presentation here before, the Pilgrimage to Lebanon from Connecticut. National Annual Meeting patches are a fun thing to collect. I collect all BSA items with a Coast Guard theme, other than lighthouses, which is because I had a 30-year career in the Coast Guard. I collect my OA Lodge. I collect SR7A Conclave memorabilia. And now that SR7A is done, I'm pretty much done there. And I collect these honor, quality, and journey to excellence patches. Started out as a sideline, and that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. So my presentation goals for tonight are to introduce this fun and, generally speaking, inexpensive collecting area. I want to focus primarily on the patches that were issued for each program from 1973 till now. I'm going to talk about newly discovered production varieties. They've been lurking out there all along, and we just didn't know they were there. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to call the oddities along the way. And then I'm going to introduce some ways to expand your collection if this is something that you actually do collect. We have a Facebook group called the Honor, Quality, and Journey to Excellence Award Collectors. Not very many people in it, less than 70 at the moment. It was something that during the pandemic, somebody said to me, there ought to be a Facebook group for this. So I started one. And it's picked up, people here and there. Those who are in it really enjoy this area of collecting. And I would encourage anybody who wants to do something fun and different to do this. I got a lot of my material here from Scouting Magazine. Scouting Magazine is available online at the portal to Texas History, and I've got the URL there for that. I encourage everybody to have that in your back pocket because lots of places you can find information, especially from the early years of scouting and Scouting Magazine. And they credit the BSA National Scouting Museum. So the first program I want to talk about is the National President's Boypower Unit Award Program. This was announced in the January-February edition of Scouting Magazine in 1973. And it was an award to recognize units that were conducting quality programs during the year. It was part of Boypower 76, which was an 8-year program intended to bring scouting to at least 1/3 of all American boys by the end of bicentennial year 1976. As with virtually everything else that the BSA has tried to do to increase membership in the last 50, 60 years, it was largely not successful, but it had its good points. And this part of the program ran in the last 4 years of that 8-year program. So the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th years, 1973, 4, 5, and 6. The program year, though, ran from April 1st to March 31st. It wasn't a calendar year program. So the first program year went from April 1973 till the end of March in 1974, and then 75, 76, and 77. Those things are going to be important later as we talk about different things. The whole program year ending not being calendar year and then dating patches as we get to the later programs makes things a bit confusing. So sketches of the emblems that units could be awarded during those years were first pictured in Scouting magazine in September of 1973. This is the page that did that. This showed a unit streamer for the National President's Award. And I should point out that when I say national president, I mean the national president of the BSA, not the president of the United States. And the troop award, the award that the unit would get, was a streamer lettered in gold. And it's noticed that this one is dated 1974, the first time it was ever pictured, which implies that the award streamers would be 74, 75, 76, and 77, based on the end year of the award program. I've not seen these streamers, so I don't know what actually was issued. Those who collect these probably could set us straight on this, but I don't know the answer there. And in that page, it said, quote, each scout in the troop. So what I mean there is youth only. Each scout in the troop will get a special strip for his uniform for each year the troop wins the unit award. For the first year, the strip is solid blue. For each succeeding year, a gold star is added. The strip is worn on the right sleeve directly under the patrol medallion, leadership corps emblem, or musician badge. This is what actually was produced. First of all, notice the stars are white and not gold. So despite the fact that they said they were going to be gold, they're actually white. So the first year that a unit won the award, they would get that blank blue rectangle. And then the second year they won the award, they'd get a star, third year, 2 stars, fourth year, 3 stars. So any unit that got the award all 4 years would have the 0, 1, 2, and 3 star patches. And I've tried to show the various varieties here. And there are more than what I'm showing, but I'm showing here the 2 different colors of the twill and the direct twill directions. You know, back in the day, we used to collect twill directions. Everything here is what we would call twill smooth. So twill left smooth, twill right smooth, or no twill at all. The bottom 3 star is a no twill. And there were several different backing varieties. On the right side is one of the program pages. Notice in the lower left, there's a certificate which was issued to the Explorer units rather than a streamer. They had a certificate. And the 2 star and 3 star patches are shown there with the order number you could get from National Supply and the dates 1975 and 1976. Been a little bit of confusion about these over the years. The thought process being that the 2 star was a 1976 unit award and the 3 star was, I'm sorry, not 75, and the 3 star was the 1976 award. Not really true. It's the 3rd award and the 4th award. So if your unit earned this for the first time in 1975, you'd wear a no star strip. That doesn't mean that's what they did, but that's what was intended. The first year was supposed to be no stars, 2nd award, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, so forth. So that's the first of these programs. The next program was called the Honor Unit Award Program, and it began in 1977. It was announced in the May and June 77 edition of Scouting, and I imagine it got out to the councils before that. It was called the 10 Tests of Successful Scouting, and they were laid out for all the units, and it was for Cubs, Boy Scout troops, Explorer posts, and so forth. 5 of the 10 tests were mandatory in order to earn the award. And then the unit had to pass at least 2 of the remaining 5 tests in order to, get the award. So they said 70%, but it really wasn't just 70%. It was the first 50% you had to get. And out of the second 50%, you only had to get 2 out of 5. And now they changed the program year based on charter renewal dates. Charter renewal dates fell throughout the year. And the mandatory test number 1, including re-registering on time. So for 1977, the first year of this program, the only recognition item was a streamer. So anybody who collects these things, like I do, needs to have that streamer because it's the only thing you're going to have for 1977. After that, you'll see that they started producing an emblem. So the May-June 1978 edition of Scouting magazine announced that in addition to the unit streamer, youth member and youth adults, for the first time adults could wear this, are entitled to wear the new Honor Unit Award. Went on to say this award, which replaces the National President's recognition during 1973 to 76, consists of the words Honor Unit 1978 in white, centered between two Scout emblems against a gold background. And there it is. The unit streamer and the individual emblem were awarded every year that the Honor Unit program was in existence, starting in 1978. These are the 8 Honor Unit patches that were produced by National in the various color schemes for the various years. This is the standard 8 patches that you would want to have if you were collecting the Honor Unit program. Notice the 1985, which was the last year, has black and white, which we've sort of traditionally called the death year of a program or the death year of a lodge or whatever, the last year of a program, black and white. I don't know if they really intended that, but it seems to follow that same sort of standard that we see over the years, that black and white is the last year. Again, you had to meet 7 of the 10 tests for successful scouting. In addition to these, there's these oddities, and I'm going to call them oddities. The first one is a 1979 Honor Unit patch in the 1978 colors. The second one is an Honor Unit patch dated 1982 with a very dark red background and very thick border. The third one, which has been known for years, is the Honor Unit 1984 dated patch in brown and green, which was the 1983 colors. And that one is very rare. The 1982, I'm only aware of one. The 1979 are scarce, but they're out there. And then there's this 1984 with sort of a khaki background and red border instead of blue and red for 1984. That one was only discovered this past year by Roy Weatherby. And to the best of my knowledge, that's the only one that's been seen. So these are probably council issued. They could be private issue, but I can't imagine why it would be a private issue other than maybe somebody didn't get theirs. They ran out and they wanted to order. They didn't know what colors to use, whatever. But they're all oddities. And for anybody who collects these things seriously, there's something to look for. So then that ended in 1985. And in the November-December 1984 edition of Scouting Magazine, the BSA announced that the National Quality Unit Award was coming out, and it was a new measure of excellence that BSA units could begin striving for in January. So they could start striving for it in January 1985. The Quality Unit Award, they went on to say, will begin with units due to recharter in January 85 and will operate throughout the unit's charter year. Units can receive the Quality Unit Award recognition when they recharter in 86. Recognitions include a pennant streamer, as before, to display on the unit flagpole or bulletin board, and an individual Quality Unit emblem, again, to wear on the uniform. Went on to say that the Honor Unit Award, which is replaced by this program, will continue to be presented throughout 1985. To be recognized as a quality unit, troops, packs, and posts had to meet 6 of 8 commitments that they would make at the beginning of the program year, and of those, 3 were mandatory. Now, in the May-June 1985 issue of Scouting, they tried to clarify which award units would receive during the transition year because there was confusion. So on that page, which is shown, it says the Honor Unit for 1985. If your troop will be rechartered before January 86, you may earn the Honor Unit Award. Then National Quality Unit Award for 1986. If your troop will be rechartered after December 1985, meaning those that were starting the program in January of 86, the troop may work towards being named a 1986 National Quality Unit. And notice the page there shows Quality Unit 1986 patch with square corners. But there's this Quality Unit 1985 patch out there, which is very scarce. And I've been trying to figure out how could that have happened? It's not a national issue. And I think what happened was that some units were named an Honor Unit for 1984. And then they had to go into the Quality Unit program. And they became a National Quality Unit for 1986. They never missed a year. But since unit members were permitted to wear their Honor Unit and then later Quality Unit awards stacked on their shirts on their right sleeve, this looked bad because you'd see 1984 and then 1986, and parents especially might go, hey, how come you guys didn't win the award in 1985? when in reality, they were never missed it. So I think that may have led to either this private issue or council issue 1985 Quality Unit Award being produced. I don't know this, it's speculation, but it's the only way I can explain it. It's very confusing when they use recharter date instead of calendar year and then date something with a calendar year date. Very confusing. Okay, so the Quality Unit program went on from 1986 to 2007. And for a long, long time, we've known that there were two Quality Unit 1987 and two Quality Unit 1988 patches. I think it's because people go, wow, square corners, rounded corners. Very obvious difference. The 1987 rounded corner patch is less common than the square corners. And the square corner 1988 is much less common than the rounded corner 1988. But as I go through this, I'm going to have on the top row the patches that appear to have been made by what I think was one manufacturer. And the patches on the bottom row are the ones I think were made by a second manufacturer. I think this because you're going to see some commonalities between them. And I'm fairly sure that if we keep looking, we're going to find two for every one of these years. I would be surprised if we don't, but we haven't so far. And I've only been looking seriously for the last 8 months or so. And it happened because I happened to see some that looked significantly different than others. And the difference was primarily, but not always, primarily in the crossbar of the fleur-de-lis. Once I started getting them, I found lots of other things that are different between the two. So I think, and it's speculation, but I think that there were two manufacturers. You got to remember, there were tens of thousands of these probably made each year. And so it's not surprising to me that National Wood used two different manufacturers. So here's what we've got. 1986, just the one. 1987, square corner and rounded corner, both have what I call the indistinct crossbar on the fleur-de-lis. Very difficult to see, but they're clearly different. One has a plastic over gauze back, and the other one just has a plain clear plastic back. So 86, 87, 88, I've categorized the square and rounded corners as being the two different manufacturers. Haven't seen 1989 yet. National was using square corners early on, and the sketches all the way through 1990 show the patch with the various dated year and always with square corners. After 1990, you don't see pictures at all in Scouting Magazine about them. But after 88, it's pretty clear they didn't produce a square corner, unless one happens to show up that I haven't seen. But I'm doubting it. I think it would have been found by now if it was out there. Okay, 1990 to 1993. Top row is the ones that are much more common than the bottom row, although the bottom row ones are not terribly scarce. It's just that people haven't been looking. And what you see on each one of these is the top row, you've got the indistinct fleur-de-lis. On the bottom row, there's a very distinct crossbar. If you're not on a phone, if you're on a computer, and you have a monitor of any size, you should be able to see it very easily. Every one of the top row ones has a plain plastic back, just clear plastic over the cloth. The bottom row has plastic over a very fine gauze back. And there are other differences. You notice that some of them have much different size, wording, and lettering, like the 25 versus 28 millimeter Quality in 1990, 25 versus 28, 1991, 25 versus 28, 1992, and 25 versus 29 in 1993. There are other differences on the bottom row, the 1992. Look at the size of the two, very small. Look at the shape of the letters, the shape of the numbers. You see it in the cues, you see it in the digits. They're definitely different. I think different manufacturers. 1994 through 1997, again, the same kind of thing. Haven't found a 1995 yet. Again, at the top, all the ones have a plain plastic back. On the bottom, they're all plastic over fine gauze. And the only one that doesn't meet what's sort of been the standard so far about the crossbar is the 1997, which Richard Terry actually provided images for me. The 1997, look at the fleur-de-lis. completely different type of fleur-de-lis from the top and the bottom. But the bottom one is not like all the other years with the crossbar. Very odd. 1998 through 2001, we haven't found two for 98 or 99 yet. The 2000, distinct crossbars, but look at the size of the date 2000. Very different on the bottom than it is on the top. 2001, flat-sided O's in 2001, flat-sided zeros, I should say. And this one, they both have plain plastic backs, a little bit different. Moving on, 2002 to 2005. I haven't found 2003 or 2005 yet, but 2002 and 2004 both have that distinct crossbar version versus the indistinct. 2004, look at where the 2004 date starts. It's centered under a unit on the top. It's flush with the U on the bottom. The 2002 at the top, I call crowded versus uncrowded at the bottom, but you can also see that the size of the lettering is much different. I'm sorry, the size of the numbers are much different. Then moving on, 2006 and 2007. Now, 2007 is a transition year. We'll talk about that in a minute. In 2006, it's the size of the fleur-de-lis as much as anything else. And I should point out also, going back, 2002 is the first year where you see the scout stuff. So on the backing of the top row, every one of these has scout stuff backing on it. The first version of the scout stuff backing is apparent on the 2002, and then the version that's much more common that started in 2003 is on the 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. Before that, it was that clear plastic back. All the ones on the bottom row do not use the scout stuff backing. That doesn't mean that they're not legit. They're legit. They're just made by somebody else that wasn't using it yet. Okay, 2006, 2007. So 2007 was the transition year between the Quality Unit Award Program and the next program called the Centennial Quality Unit Award Program. And it looks like in 2007, some councils made their own emblems. And I think that the reason for this is because when they went to the Centennial Quality Unit Award Program that I'll talk about next, they went to calendar year and they changed the registration date, I believe, for all of the councils throughout the United States to being the end of the calendar year. I know that my council, Colonial Virginia, originally had been a different date, only off by a year or so. I'm sorry, a month or so, but they definitely changed. And Centennial Quality Unit Award Program went to registering on a calendar year basis. So I think some units definitely earned the 2007 Quality Unit Award after the beginning of the year. So they created a 2007 Quality Unit Award patch. That's the black and silver one there. Again, that whole death of the program thing. But it looks like a couple of councils probably created their own, that red and blue and the red and gold. The red and blue I've seen on eBay. They're fairly common. The red and gold I also picked up off eBay, much less common. Now, in 2003, the program started issuing a second patch, and this was for units that were 100% Boys Life, which meant that the unit had to have a copy of Boys Life going to every family in the unit, not every scout necessarily in the unit or every cub, but every family in the unit. If you did that, you were not just a quality unit, but you were 100% Boys Life as well. These also are found in two different manufacturers. The top ones all have the scout stuff backing. The bottom ones are that plastic over fine gauze. Most of them have the crossbar that's distinct on the bottom and not on the top. Although the 2005 has a weird fat looking fleur-de-lis with a crossbar that's very distinct. And I haven't found a second one, so I'm not sure what's going on there. The 2007, again, I haven't found two versions, but I suspect there may only be one version because in 2007, so few units were actually also getting that 2007 quality unit. Then on the bottom here are two other 100% Boys Life Quality Unit Award oddities. One that has no date at all, I think it was council issued, may have been used more than 1 year. I don't know. And then this fully embroidered one that's blue and yellow for 2007 that somebody created. Don't know who. And up on top are two very weird ones. The Quality Unit 1986, Chuck Shadrack has said was a local council private issue, but I don't know what council. And the 1990 Honor Unit Citation Patch makes no sense at all because it was the Quality Unit program in 1990 and had been already for a couple of years. But that Honor Unit Citation Patch exists. I don't have either one of those. Okay, so that's the National Quality Unit Award Program ending in 2007. Then during the Quality Unit Award years, there was a Quality District Award Program and a Quality Council Award Program. However, there are no Council Quality Award patches. That emblem was started for the districts, though, apparently in 1990. This 1989 one exists, but it shouldn't. At least I don't think it should, because Scouting Magazine said in the November 1989 issue that when they added new criteria for units, the language also went on to say there are criteria for a quality district and a quality council. Until that issue of Scouting, I had not seen any reference at all to a quality district or a quality council program. Could be wrong. There's stuff I don't know, obviously, but I believe that January 1990 was the start of the quality district program. So and they were basically on a calendar year. So I'm thinking that there should have been no 1989 patch, but that sure looks like a nationally issued patch. Very, very scarce. Never seen one other than in this picture. But 1990, 91, 92, 93, 4, 5, 6, 7 all exist. Only one version known. I don't think there's two manufacturers because they didn't need that many. And then, of course, 98, 99, 2000, so forth, all the way through 2006, with a shift on the back from plain to the Scout stuff backing. There is no 2007 quality district patch because those districts did not change over the way that units did. They started in the Centennial program in January of 07. Then there's two oddities in the quality district program. There's this 2002 with reversed colors, very different looking as well, and a quality district 2006 patch in the 2004 colors. These are the only images I have of those. They came from Chuck Shadrack, and never seen them other than those two pictures. Then there was a Quality Scout Shop Awards program that I suspect started in 2004, but I don't really know. These are the only Quality District Scout Shop patches we've seen. The 2004 is dated. The 5, 6, 7, and 8 are not dated, but they follow the colors of the Quality District and Quality Unit Award patches for those particular years. So we're pretty sure that's what they are. They're very scarce. I think it was only the national scout shops that used this quality program, but I could be wrong about that. I only have the 2006 and 2008. Notice that the Centennial Quality program started in 07, but you're going to see that the Scout Shop patches in the Centennial program don't appear to have started in 2009. I'm not sure why that's the case. Then there were Quality Lodge Award emblems. All of these are not made by National. I think in 2003 was the first year of the Quality Lodge Award program. The award was a pin. I've shown an example in the lower left there for wear on a lodge flap. But Tonkawa Lodge 99 in Austin made their own. Apparently they were a Quality Lodge in 2003, 4, 5, and 6. Made their own patches. I've shown the issue numbers there. I don't have any of them. I haven't really pressed to try and find them. I'd love to get them, but I haven't pressed for it. And then there's this undated Quality Lodge fully embroidered patch that I'm not sure who issued it. That's all that's out there that I'm aware of on the Quality Lodge. So Chuck Shadrack has speculated, or said anyway, that there were Quality Region Award emblems issued by the Southern and Western regions. I've never seen them. Only thing I know about it is what he wrote in a document he shared with me. He said Quality Region's been seen for 1988 through 95 and 2000, but he didn't have any images. I've never seen them. I have no idea. But the Northeast region, it turns out, did have a quality program emblem. This Q2, I know it when I see it emblem is one that I had for years and didn't know what it was. And I know other people that have had it as well, sitting around their Duke boxes and stuff. I tried to figure out what the heck it was. I assumed it was quality unit or something, but we didn't know what it was. Till I stumbled upon this program from the All Hands Conference of the Northeast region from 1986. Notice in the banner at the top, it says, "The spirit of Q2. I know it when I see it." And so there you go. And it is in the colors of the 1986 quality unit patch. So I'm certain it was the patch that went along with this thing. I just don't know if it's a recognition item or a promotional item. Definitely matches the color scheme though. Okay, and then Chuck also had these images of 2010 and 2009 quality licensees. I don't think these ever were emblems. I think they were just logos that a quality licensee could be allowed to display on their marketing materials if National felt they had met the criteria to be quality licensees. This is the only thing I've ever seen of these, and it's a speculation of mine about what they actually are. Okay, so the Centennial Quality Unit Program, I shouldn't say unit, the Centennial Quality Awards Program was for 4 years, 2007 through 2010. It was as the lead up to BSA's centennial year. What you see here is, to the best of my knowledge, the entire set. And there were 2007, 8, 9, and 10 awards for the unit. The unit is 100% Boys Life, the district, and for the first time, a quality council. And as I mentioned before, Centennial Quality Scout Shop. All we've seen are 2009 and 10, and we see the old quality unit for 2008 and 7. So I think that's a full set. Interestingly, the 2007 awards were a mirrored edge border, what we also call a rolled edge, and the oval around the seal, which is dye sublimated, the oval is embroidered. Starting with 2008, though, the 8, 9, and 10, the seal is completely dye sublimated. No embroidery around the seal at all. I don't have the Scout Shop ones. Okay, so after 2010, the BSA Centennial Year, we got a new program, and this is the one that I'm sure we're all familiar with now. This is the Journey to Excellence program. Replaced that Quality Awards program, much more complex, encourages units, district councils, lodges, and scout shops to improve their operations from year to year with the ultimate goal of eventually obtaining gold status. As far as I know, pins are still being awarded, but the pins are for the OA lodges. You can see it in the lower left, the special pins. There's no quality or Journey to Excellent Lodge patch. I've shown just the 2011 set here because the same design, the same lettering types, the same bronze, gold, silver, the same rolled edge, the same Scout emblem has been used every year all the way through 2019. So there's a 12 patch set that you need if you're a collector to have each one of the years 2011 through 2019. Also, Scout Shop Awards appear to be bronze, gold, and silver, bronze, silver, and gold for each one of these years, but they're very difficult to locate. I only have 3 of them myself. Then on September 19th, 2020, during the pandemic, the Boy Scouts of America announced that the Journey to Excellence program for districts and councils had been discontinued, which means 2019 is the last year of that 12 patch set. I believe it's also true of the Scout Shop emblems, but I really don't know. And they did away with the 100% Boys Life Unit Awards as well. Since they did that, they no longer needed to say unit, because there was no more district, no more council, no more Scout Shop, and there's no more 100% Boys Life. And so what you see now for 2020 and 2021 is just bronze award, silver award, and gold award. So there's just 3 patches that one would need to have a set for the most recent 2 years. So in the spring of 2022, units were receiving their 2021 awards and so forth, going back each year. So that's the Journey to Excellence program. Here's the only oddity we're aware of. And again, kudos to Roy Weatherby for finding this. It's very unusual. It's in the top row. Take a look at the scout emblem on the left side. You can see the threads still hanging out to the right. You can see the size of the lettering is completely different. We're not sure exactly what it is, but I suspect it was either a manufacturer's sample or a prototype made for national, and somehow it got out. You can see on the top that it has a barcode. It has the catalog number. It's the same catalog number as the one on the bottom. It has the BSA 2010 plastic back. So it's legit. All we can think is that it's somehow a sample or a prototype that got out. I'm guessing there should be a bronze and a silver, but haven't seen it. This could be unique. Pretty cool. Okay, so how could you expand your collection? If you're collecting the national programs, you could also collect some council programs. The biggest one of which was out of St. Louis. St. Louis had St. Louis Honors, and then went to the Top of the Arch program, which I think is so cool with the Gateway Arch. As far as I know, 1986 was the first year of the St. Louis Honor program, and 2007 was the last year of the Top of the Arch program. As you can see, I'm missing 5 of them, and I have a stained 1994, so I'm looking to fill those holes, but I think very cool. And then Northeastern Pennsylvania Council had a Centennial Quality Unit Award for 2009 and 2010. And I'm told from people in the council that it's just those 2 years. Going beyond the cloth, unit streamers, as I mentioned early on, began in 1973. So you can find National President's Award unit streamers from 73 through 76. You can find honor unit streamers from 77 till the end of that program in 85. You can find Journey to Excellence, Quality unit streamers from that units could award, and 100% Boys Life streamers. And then there's pins. Starting with 1985, and this is a picture of John Spence's collection. Starting in 1985, there were pins for civilian wear, both for unit, district, and council awards. So you can say I said there wasn't an emblem for a council award in the quality unit years, but there was a pin. So they're pretty cool. I don't collect them, but lots of people do. And then there's plaques. Plaques started in 1970, when they started, 85, sorry, plaques started in 85. Before that, there were certificates for Explorer Post, as I mentioned. There were unit leader certificates that started in 79. And these plaques in 3 sizes, the top 2 rows, and this is Scott Wheeler's collection. The top 2 rows are the unit awards. Then the 3 on the lower left, which are a bit bigger, are the district awards. And then the big one is the council award there in the bottom right. The plaques were available to hand out to charter organizations, scoutmasters, anybody else that had a hand in a particular unit earning the award. The bottom rectangle there was for, put in the recognition for exactly what it was who it was that earned it. Those are pretty cool too. Again, I don't collect them, but they're still cool. And that's the end. Any questions?
Do you see the variations of the backs, like the square knots? Are they pretty consistent?
Well, it's just the 2 different backs for each year. I've found more than one. The one that seems to be most common has either the clear, plain plastic back, or later when it became Scout stuff, the Scout stuff, or the BSA 2010 in the JTE ones, or the since 2010, since that changed over. And then the other version, other than the 1987 and 88, the other version has this plastic over a very fine gauze backing. Every single one of them has that. So if you turn one over and you see the very fine gauze backing, you're probably looking at the second version. I've been working on this for several months because somebody in the honor quality group, Facebook group, said somebody should do a collector guide. So I've been working on this collecting guide. Okay, so there's the National President's Awards honor unit. and so forth. And I've got the fronts and backs, and then a description of what's unique about each one of those. And there's a little box down here, so you can use it as a checkbox for your own collection as well.
Oh,
So
that's
Cool.
awesome. It looks like a
There's-
stamp album. What a great
Yeah,
idea.
There's
Yeah.
only 40 pages so far in this.
That is awesome.
It's a lot
Well,
of images.